Welcome to Google Sheet tutorial. Today, I'll teach you how I have created my annual budget template in Google Sheets. So this is a multi-tab spreadsheet and it comes with many tabs. So with the help of this one, you will be able to completely manage your annual budget and then you can track your bills, expenses, income and everything with the help of this simple annual budget template. First, I'll show you how this template will look like and then I'll teach you how to create this from scratch. So here is how my annual budget template will look like. So you can see we have first I have mentioned the year over here and then we have a table for a net worth and income, savings, bills, expenses and debt and also the required graphs at the top for this. And then below that one you can see we have the cash flow month by month and then here we have an important table income month by month and then here you can see what is the income planned and actual values. So all these things are there. So similarly, we have tables for savings, expenses, bills, and debt. So all these are some of the important tables which will be helpful for us to track our complete annual expenses. So I'll teach you from scratch how to create this complete template. Let's get started. So I've opened a new Google Sheet and then first I'll go name the sheet as input data. So here in this sheet, we'll be having all our input categories over here. So I'll first select this one and then I'll say merge center. I'll say input data over here. And I'll increase the size of this. I'll make it bold and also I'll fill this with this color. And I'll make it center aligned. So here I'm going to list down the important categories like my income, bill, expenses and what are all the subcategories which I'm going to have below that. So let's say first I'll have the income, then let's have the savings, then I'll have the bills, next my expenses, and at last I'll have my debt. So I'll just try to select this completely, I'll make this bold and also I'll increase the size and also fill this with this color. I'll adjust the width of the columns. So here I can go and enter what are going to be my income subcategories. Like I can say I have a main job, then I can say some freelance income is going to come. And then we can even have some rental income. So all these are going to be some of my incomes. So after that, I'll come for the savings. So here, let me say there is going to be some general savings, which I'm going to do. And then we can have for mutual fund, I'm just doing a savings. And then for wedding, I'm just trying to create a savings. So next, we'll have the bills. So I'll list down what all bills I have. So I'll say I have Wi-Fi bill, then electricity bill, and then let's say for ChatGPT, I have a subscription. All our bills can be listed down below this one. So next, I'll come for the expenses. So let's say I have food expenses and then shopping, some dinner if I'm going to go out for dinner. So that expenses, all these expenses, I will list it down. And then at last, I list down my debts. So here, let's say I have my credit card and student loan. So these are going to be my debts. Here I have listed down all the important categories, my income, savings, bills, expenses and debts. And below this one, what all can be my income, savings, bills, I have just listed down over here. So next I'll go and try to create another one sheet. So here I'll call the sheet as transactions. And I'll come here, I'll try to completely select this. I'll say merge center. And here I'll say transactions. So just the title of my complete sheet. I'll increase the size and make it bold as well. I'll fill this with this color and I'll make it center one. So here we'll have a table to list down all our transactions. So first I'll have the date and what is going to be the value of that particular transaction and which category it is going to belong to and which subcategory it is going to belong to. And then if I have any other details, I can just say the details. So I'll just try to go and adjust the width of these columns and I'll completely select this and I'll do the formatting. So in this table, what you can do is you can just try to come and enter your transactions for that particular year. Whatever transactions you have, you can just try to enter it. For example, you can have the date and what is the value of that particular transaction. Here you can mention whether it's going to be income, bills, expense, debt, or savings. So that is going to be the category. And subcategory is nothing but, for example, if it is going to be income, it can be main job, whatever you have mentioned in your input table. So here you can see like all these are the subcategories. So you can just try to come and enter the subcategory, and if any other details are there, you can just try to enter it over here. This is about the transactions table. Now I'll come to the other sheet. So here is going to be my annual budget. So I'll name the sheet as annual budget. I'll just come to the top and then select the cells completely. I'll say merge center. So here I'll say annual budget tracker. I'll increase the size and then I'll do the formatting. After that, I'll just give some space at the top for our graph and some important tables at the top in our dashboard. So I'll come little bit down over here, and then first I'll create the table for my income over here. So let's say first I'll select these three columns together and I'll say merge center. So here I'll say my income. So below this one, I'll say what is going to be the planned value and the actual value. So I'll completely select this. I'll make this bold and also I'll make it center align. So here I'll fill this with the color, and here this one I'll fill this with other color. So here below this one, I can have all the subcategories below my income. So whatever I have listed in my input data sheet. So I'll say is equal to, I'll say if, and then I'll go to the input data and I'll just check whether the cell is empty. So the condition is that if the cell is going to be empty, then if the condition is true, I'll have no values, or else what I'll do is I'll have the same value whatever is there in this particular cell. So I'll enter. See, you can see I'm getting the main job over here. So I'll just try to drag it like this. I'll get all the subcategories whatever is listed, and below that one I can have the total of this. So here I can come and enter what is going to be the planned value for my income. Let's say I'll say it's going to be $3,000, and for freelance, let's say it's going to be 2,000, and rental income, let me say it's going to be $800. So all this one, I'll just try to format it in US dollars, and here I'll also come and say find the sum of the complete planned one. I'll completely select the total. I'll make this bold, increase size, and also I'll do the required formatting over here. So the actual values, we'll just try to find it out. So here I'm going to create another one table. So I'll completely select the complete columns over here. So I'll say merge center. So here I'm going to say income month by month. And below this one, first I'll have all the categories. So like here, whatever we have the subcategories, like, so I will have all that one. Next, I'm going to have all the months listed. So I'll say January. So I'll do the flash fill and then I'll just try to fill all the months over here. So at last, I'll say we'll have the total value and the average value. So I'll select this completely. I'll increase size. I'll make it bold, and also I'll make this center align. So here I'll fill this with this color, and all this one I can fill this with the light pink color. So whatever we have over here are the same formatting. I'm just doing it over here. So next I need to list down all the subcategories. So here the subcategories are already, we've got it over here, right? So I'll just say is equal to this cell, and I'll try to flash fill this like this. So we'll have all our subcategories for the month. Next I need to calculate how much I have actually earned in the month January. So if there are any transactions in my transactions table for the month January and for main job, so that I need to find the sum of that, and then I need to list it over. So here I'll be using the formula. So if error, and then I'll open the brackets over here, and then here I'm going to say the formula sum ifs. So I will use the formula sum ifs because there are multiple conditions over here. So I'll open the brackets And then first I'm going to say, I'll go to the transaction table and then I'll select which value I need to sum up. So here the value is going to be, I need to sum up all the values, right? So there's nothing but the amount, whatever you're going to enter over here. So I'll give comma, and then the first criteria we need to give. So let's say the first criteria is going to be date. I'll select this, I'll give comma. So inside the quotations, I'll say the condition. So whether it's going to be less than or equal to, and I'll open the bracket and then I'll say, so here I'm using the formula EO month because it should be equal to this January month, right? So that's why I'm using the function EO month. So whether that's equal to the January month, comma 0, I'll give over here. I'll close the bracket. So this is the first condition. So next we'll have the next condition return. So I'll go to the transactions. So again, I'll select the date completely and then inside the quotations, I'll say greater than or equal to my month again. So I'll come to the annual and here I'll say and it should be equal to the month, right? So this is going to be the condition. So the last condition is going to be that my subcategory, whatever I am having over here, so that should be equal to my main job, right? So that's going to be third criteria. So here I'll completely select this. I'll give comma and then inside the quotations, I'll give equal to and it should be equal to the main job over here, right? So I'll select main job over here and then I'll close the brackets and then I'll give comma over here. So whether if there is going to be any error, so we'll have the value 0. So I'll press enter. So this is the formula. Since we don't have any transactions, so that's why I'm getting the value as 0 over here. So also I'll try to go and do the absolute formatting since we can try to flash fill this formula for the entire table. So here if you see, the sum range is going to be the same, right? So I can just do the absolute formatting for all the cells over there. And then when we come for the date range, so whatever the dates we have selected, that's also going to remain the same for the entire table, right? So I'll do the absolute formatting over here. And then if we come to the month, so in the month you can see the row number is going to be the same, whereas only the columns are going to change. So before the row number, I'll give the dollar symbol. So I'm just doing the absolute formatting. So next again we have the date range. So here it's again going to be the same. So I'll do the absolute formatting for both my rows and columns. And here again I have the month. So here for the month only the row number is going to be the same, whereas the columns is going to change. So I'll select that and then I'll come to the transactions. In the transactions, the subcategory is there. So that is also going to remain the same. So I'll do the absolute formatting. At last, I have the whether it's going to be main job over here, right? So in this one, you can see the column is going to be the same. So the column will remain the same, only the row number will change. So before the column, I'll just try to add the dollar symbol and then I'll do the formatting. So now I'll press enter and then I'll try to flash fill this over here completely for all this one. So if I come over here, you can see for freelance, it's F43. So F43 is nothing but freelance, right? So similarly, if I come over here for rental, it's F54. That's the rental income. So like this, it is filled. So similarly, I'll try to flash fill this all the months over here. So if I come over here, you can see previously the month was G41. So that's the January over here. So now it has changed to H41. So automatically the months will change. So similarly, we can just try to flash fill this. So I'll just flash fill this for the complete till December and I'll just drag it below also. So I've completely flash filled over here. So all these are going to be in the format of US dollars. So I'll just have it like this. So since we don't have any values in the transaction, so that's why I'm just getting 0. So here I need to find the sum. So here I'll say it's going to be sum of all the main job values over here. So I'll select this and then I'll close the bracket. So here this is total value. Similarly, I'll just try to flash fill this completely here. And then here I need to find the average value. So I'll say is equal to average. And I'll open the brackets and I'll completely select this range till December, from January to December. So here also I'll try to flash fill this. So after that, I'll have the total values over here. So that's going to be is equal to sum of all the values over here for the particular month. So I'll have this. So I'll try to flash fill this formula also completely till December. Now I'll completely select the total row over here and I'll do the formatting. So I'll make this bold and I'll fill this with this color. So now we have completed for the income month by month table. So here if you want to find the actual value of the main job, the total actual value. So it's going to be equal to, so the total value over here. So this cell. So I'll select this and I'll try to flash fill this over here. And here I'll have the sum of my actual job. So I'll select this and this is going to be the sum. So now we have completed for our complete income. So after income, what we have is we have a savings. So now we'll try to come and do the table for savings. So here I'll select this completely and I'll say merge center. So here I'll say savings and then here I'll be having the planned and my actual values. So I'll just try to select this. I'll increase size. I'll make this bold and also I'll make it center align. So now I'll fill this with this color and here I'll fill this with this color. So here I need to take all the saving subcategories from whatever I have in my input. So here I'll say is equal to if, and then I'll open the bracket, I'll go to the input data. So if the general savings, if the cell is going to be empty, so that's the condition. So there'll be no values or else we'll have the same value. So I'll select this and I'll press enter. So here is my category. So I'll just try to flash fill this completely over here. So we'll get all the values. And then here I'll have the plan value. So let's say for general savings, I'm going to plan $600. And for mutual funds, let's say $900. And for wedding, let's say $400. So this is going to be my plan. So I'll try to select this and I'll also format it to dollars. And at last, I'll have the total. So I'll find the total is equal to sum and then I'll calculate the total over here. So similarly here also, I can just try to calculate the sum value of actual values. Next, I'll completely select this. So here we are going to have the same table how we are going to have for the income month by month. So I'll select this and then I'll just paste it over here. So instead of income, I'll say it is going to be savings month by month. Savings month by month, and all the column names are going to be the same. Like we'll have the complete months and then at last we'll have the total and average. So only the thing is I'll just do the formatting over here. So here completely I'll select this. So I'll have a different color for this. So now here I need to have the subcategories like general savings, all this one. So I'll try to take it from here, this table, and I'll flash fill. And at last I'll have the total values. So now here also I'm going to use the formula to get the sum of all the transactions, whatever happened for the general savings. So I can just try to copy this formula and then I'll just try to paste it over here. So when I paste it over here, you can see it's F52. So automatically, dynamically, the formula has changed, whereas the month is referring to the month over here. So the G41. So that's not a problem. So all the months we have over here, the same months only we have it over in the savings table also. So it is automatically getting changed to the general savings. So now I'll just try to flash fill this formula. So the same formula, I'll have it for all the months till December and I'll fill it completely. So here we need to have the sum of all the values for the particular month January. So I'll select this and then I'll just try to flash fill this completely till here. So here we need to find the sum of all the from January to December. I need to find out the value. So I'll do the sum and then I'll flash fill. So here I'll be doing the average. So the complete average for January to December. So I'll just try this and then here I'll also flash fill this completely. So here I'll do the formatting. So I'll completely select this. I'll make this bold and I'll fill this with the color. So similarly here also, I'll completely select this, make this bold and I'll do the formatting. So now we have completed for the savings. So the last thing is we need to find the actual value. So the actual value is going to be is equal to, for general savings, the actual value is nothing but, you can see this is the total value, right? So I'll select this and then I'll just flash fill here completely. So next we'll do it for the bills. So here I'll select this and just keep it here. So it's going to be for bills and then I'll just change the color for this. So here I need to have all the bill subcategories. So I'll say is equal to if, I'll open the brackets, I'll go to the input data. So here if this cell is going to be empty, so we'll have no value, or else we'll have the same value over here. So I'll select this. So now I've got the Wi-Fi and all my bills will be listed over here. And then at last I'll have the total. Here let's say I'm going to plan for Wi-Fi, let's say $45, for electricity, let's say $90, and for ChatGPT, let's say $20. So I'll format all this US dollar formatting, and here I'll try to find out the sum of all the planned values. And similarly here I'll have the sum of all the actual values. Next I'll come for the month by month bills table. So I'll just copy this, paste it. I'll just change the color alone over here. So now I'll have all the subcategories, whatever I've got from the bills. So is equal to, so I'll have the same thing here. And I'll try to flash fill this. And at the last, I'll have the total. Now for January, the same formula, I'll just copy it. So I'll paste it. So here you can see it's F62. So F62 is nothing but it is just the subcategory. It will check for whether it is Wi-Fi in my transactions. So I'll select this. I'll try to completely flash fill for the entire year, and I'll also flash fill here. So here I'll find out the sum of the values for January. So month by month, I'll just try to find out the total. And here for each and every category wise, I'll just try to find out the total value. So I'll try to flash fill this. So here I'll try to find the average. So it's going to be average of the complete January to December. And here also I'll try to flash fill this. Now I'll do the formatting for the total. So I'll make this bold, and also I'll select this, and then I'll have this color. So similarly, I'll do it for the month by month table also. I'll make this bold and I'll fill this with this color. So here the name is going to be bills, month by month. We have the table. So after the bills, we have our expenses. So now we'll go for our expenses table. So I'll select this. I'll make a copy of this over here. So I'll have my expenses. I'll go and change the color over here. I'll have this color here. Let me have this color. So here I'll try to pull all the subcategories from my input. So I'll go to input, and then here if this cell is going to be empty, so that's the condition. So if it is going to be false, I'll have the same value over there. So I'll select it and I'll completely flash fill, and at last I'll have the total. So here let's say for food we are planning $300, and for shopping let's say $120, and for dinner let's say it's going to be $60. I'll format this in as US dollars, and I'll find the total, the sum of the planned values. Similarly here I'll have the sum of all the actual values. Next, I'll have the month by month table for my expenses. So I'll just try to copy paste this. So here I'll go and change this to expenses month by month, and I'll also change the color, background color for this. This I'll completely select this and I'll change the color to this color. So here I'll have the subcategories. So whatever we have over here, so I'll just select this, and then I'll try to flash fill. So the last I'll have the total. So here we'll be using the same formula. I'll just try to copy and paste this one and then check the formula. So it's F72. So F72 is food. We are getting it correctly. So we'll flash fill this formula for the entire year, and we'll try to find out the sum. So this is the total, and I'll try to flash fill, and similarly here we'll find out the average value. So I'll also try to flash fill the average. So next is we need to find out the sum of all the expenses for the month January. So like that, I'll try to find out the sum, and I'll try to flash fill this for the complete year. Next, I'll do the formatting. So here I'll make this bold, and also I'll fill this with the color. So similarly here, I'll also do the same formatting. So now we have completed for 4 important tables. So the last table is going to be our debt table. So I'll select this. I'll make a copy of this. So here we'll have my debt, and then I need to list down all my debts. So I'll say if it's going to be, I'll open the brackets. So if this cell is going to be empty, so I'll have no value, or else I'll have the same value. So I'll select this and close it. So I'll flash fill. So here I'll say total, and then let's say the plan value for the credit card is $150, and let's say the student loan is going to be $220. I'll format this to US dollars. So here I'll find the sum of my plan values, and here I'll also find the sum of my actual values. So next I'll just try to completely copy this, and then I'll paste it over here. So this is going to be my debt, right? So I'll change this to debt month by month, and then we can also change the color theme for this one. So I'll select and I'll have this color, and here I'll select and we'll change this to a different color. Next is I'll have the same whatever subcategories I have, so it's going to be the same thing. So I'll try to flash fill this, and then I'll have the total. So here we'll be using the same formula. I'll just try to copy and paste this formula. So you can see it's F82. So that's for credit card. It'll check whether the subcategory is credit card in my complete transaction, and then it'll try to find the sum of the values, and then it'll give me. So I'll do the flash filling over here, and I'll also try to find out the sum of the credit card values. Like for January, for different month, I'll try to find out the sum of values. So here I'll find the sum of the complete values for credit card, like category wise. I'll just try to have it, and also we'll find out the average values. So I'll do the formatting over here. Also, we'll actually enter the actual value. So the actual values is going to be equal to the total of the credit card values, like this. So I'll try to flash fill this. So similarly here also for expenses, we have not found the actual values. So I'll say is equal to, so it's going to be the total value. So I'll try to flash fill this over here. And similarly for bills also I'll do it. So this is going to be equal to the total value of my bills, and I'll flash fill this. So now we have actually completed for all our important tables. So here we have the planned and actual value for all these things, and also we have the month by month value for all the 5 important tables. Now I'll just try to go to the top, and then I'll create complete table for the complete cash flow. Like to analyze a complete cash flow, including our income, savings, bills, expense, and debt, I'll try to create a table. So I'll just try to copy this completely here, and then I'll try to go here, and then I'll just try to paste it. And the title is going to be, so our cash flow month by month. And then I'll have all these things are going to be the same. So here I'll have the income. Next, I'm going to have the savings. Then I'll have my bills, my expenses, and then my debt. And then we'll calculate how much amount is going to be left in hand. So this is going to be the thing what we're going to do. So if I want to find the January month, what is going to be the total income? So that is nothing but we have it over here. So this is going to be the total income, whatever is going to be in January. So I'll say is equal to, and then I'll click this cell. So this is going to be the total income over here. So like this, what I'll do is I'll just try to flash fill for the complete income over here till December. So you can see it is nothing but H46. So this is the H46. So automatically everything will be filled. Similarly, we'll try to do it for the savings. So here I'll say is equal to, and in the savings, the total for January is this. So I'll try to select this, and then I'll try to flash fill this till December. We can also flash fill till the total and average value also we have it over here, right? So that also we can do it. So here the total we have not found out the sum. So maybe if I try to flash fill, so here we will also get the sum values also. So the sum of our complete total, we'll be able to get it. So I'll just try to flash fill that over here. And similarly, we'll come for the bills. So is equal to, so in January month, whatever is going to be my total bill, I'll select that, and I'll try to flash fill this completely. And next is going to be my expenses. So is equal to, I'll come to the expenses table, the total value, I'll select it, and I'll try to flash fill this. Next is going to be the debt. So I'll go to the last table, debt table, and select the total value for January, and I'll flash fill this completely. Next is I need to find out the left value. So how much amount is actually left in hand? So that is what I need to find out. So here that is going to be equal to my income subtracted by my savings, subtracted by my bills, subtracted by my expenses, subtracted by my debt. Because only income is coming in hand, and all the other things are, it's kind of, we are giving, like we are putting some amount for savings, we are having some bills, expense and debt. We are just giving out money, right? All these are some of the spendings. So my income subtracted by all my spending sources. So this is the formula. So I'll just try to flash fill this formula entirely over here. And at the last also, I'll just try to highlight this complete cell. So I'll make this bold and also I'll highlight it. So I can just change the color, background color for this. So here is my complete cash flow month by month chart. So next we'll try to create the planned and actual table for the entire year. So here I'll go and then let me say, I'll select this completely over here and I'll say merge center. So here I can say this is going to be my income, and here I'll have the planned and here I'll have the actual values. So I'll just try to select this, I'll format it. And also I'll make this center line. So here I'll have all the months listed. So from January to December, I'll just try to list down all the months. So I'll just try to completely select this. I'll cut this and then I'll paste it a little bit at the top. So here we'll just have a space. So the total also I'll try to highlight it. So let's say the planned value for January, let's say it's going to be $1,000. For February, we'll keep it at $2,000. And let's say for March also, we'll keep it at $2,000. And let's say it's going to be $800. So we'll just fill these details. And here it is going to be the sum of all my planned values. So I'll just select this. And then I'll press enter. Now I need to actually fill the actual values over here. So that's nothing but the actual values. You can see all these are the actual values. So we have this horizontally over here, but here we need to fill it vertically. So I can just try to select this completely over here. So and I can make a copy of it. And then here I can go and say paste special. And then I can also transpose this and I can paste it. So here is my complete value. I'm just getting it. So in transposed version. So I don't want the background. So I'll completely format this to US dollars over here. And here I'll be having the sum of the complete actual values. So that's, since we don't have any values in the transactions table, so that's why it is 0. So like this, we can try to have it. So this is for the income table. So now let's try to do it for the next table. So that is, we'll have a savings table. So I'll say savings. And then what is going to be the planned actual? So similarly, here also we need to have the complete total. So I'll have this. And then here, let's say for savings, the planned value, I'll just try to enter the planned value. So let me say it's going to be 500. So next 500. So the next month we'll say 600 and then next 300. Like this, we can have the planned values. So now I'll try to find out the sum of my complete savings, whatever is the planned value, and here I need to find the actual. So actual is again, it will be in my savings month by month. So I'll completely select this. I'll make a copy of this and then I'll save this transposed over here. So here I'll try to find the sum of all the actual values. So I'll select this. So we can just do the formatting. Similarly, I'll try to do for the other tables like the bills, expense and debt. So I'll just try to do it. So now I have completed for all the 5 tables. So you can see I have for all the 5 tables, what is the planned value and the actual value for the complete year I have completed. So here what I'll do is I'll just try to come and select this completely. So here I'll just try to merge center, and then here I'll say year, and then here maybe I can have the whatever year it is. So let's say it's going to be 2025. I'll try to increase the size of this completely. I'll make this bold and also I'll make it center line. So here I'll fill this with this color. Here I'll just make this completely bold. So now I'll just try to select this, and then I'll say merge center. Here I'll say goals, and then I'll do the formatting for this. I'll make it center line. So here I'll try to completely select this, and then I'll say merge across. So horizontally I'll try to merge it. So here you can try to enter all your goals. Like you can say I want to clear my debts and I want to reduce my expenses. So you can just try to have your goals. Like you can say I want to clear my all debts. So like this you can have all your goals listed down over here, and then you can just try to track these goals. So next we'll try to create some graphs. So to create that one, I'll just try to add some rows above this. So since we don't have much space at the top right, so I'll just try to add some rows at the top of this. So here first I'll completely select this, and then I'll go and I'll say insert chart. So we can have our plan versus actual chart over here. Since there is no actual values, so you can see a complete chart is in blue color. So because all the plan values we are able to get over here. So with the help of this chart, you can see how well you have planned your income. With the help of this chart, you'll be able to see it. So next I'll select the complete savings. So here I'll go and create the chart for the savings. So I'll consider this as my column chart. So I'll just completely have the same size of my savings. And then we can also go and change the color. So if we want to change the color, so the fill color, we can change it to a theme color. So this color for the actual, I can change it to maybe this color. Okay. So we can have it. So similarly here also I can go and change the color. So maybe I'll have a uniform color for the actual and planned. Next, I'll go for the bills. So here I'll select the complete bills, and then I'll insert a column chart. So here is my column chart, and I'll go and change the color. For actual, I'll have the light sandal color. So I'll try to decrease the size, and then I'll place it over here. I'll just adjust these charts. Next, I'll create a chart for my expenses. So I'll completely select this, and then I'll go to insert, and then I'll create a chart. I'll change the color. I'll decrease the size, and then I'll keep it here. So the last chart, we'll create it for our debt. So I'll select this, and I'll create a chart. So here is my chart. I'll change the colors, and I'll keep it over here. So if you want, we can also go and change the title of the chart, like we have planned and actual. So here I can say income, planned and actual. So here I can say it's going to be the savings. So savings, planned and actual. So next here I'll come and say bills. And here I'll have the chart title as expenses, planned versus actual. And at last I'll have my debt. So now I have the complete graph over here. Also, I can just try to come and add the borders for this. I'll have the borders even for this one also. We can just have the borders. So if you want to add the borders, you can just have we can select it and then have the borders for all these tables. So this is how we'll be able to create our annual budget tracker. So with this tracker, first we created the input data. We have listed down all our important categories like income, savings, bills, expense, debt, and then we have listed down all our subcategories. Then next we created the transaction, so where we can list all our transactions. So after that we have created different table for month by month analysis. And then also at the top, we had our planned and actual values for the complete year. So with the help of this tracker, you'll be able to track your complete annual budget, and then you can try to have your complete money in control. So if you wish to use the complete annual budget tracker, it's a multi-tab spreadsheet. So if you wish to use that one, I have given the link of this complete template in the description. So you can just try to go and download it from there. And I have created multiple templates for tracking your personal finance, like your sinking funds tracker, bill calendar, net worth tracker, and many more. If you wish to use these templates, you can visit my website plrduck.com, and then you can try to download it from there. So the great thing about this is it comes in Excel and for Google Sheets. And also all these templates are given with commercial rights and master resale rights. So you can try to edit these templates as per your wish and then share it with as many people you like. So you can visit my website and then try to download it from there. I hope you would have liked this complete annual budget tutorial. So do like and subscribe my channel for more such content. Also, thanks for watching this tutorial. I'll see you in another Google Sheet or Excel tutorial.